If you're using Git to do your software development and you're using your main or master branch and you're doing all your development in that branch, then you're doing it wrong. Real teams usually make branches and then do all of their features in branches or maybe bug fixes in branches. Then after all of that is working, then they merge that branch into their main branch. In this video, I'll show you exactly how professionals use Git branches to build out their features, to review each other's work, and also merge changes into their codebase without breaking it. So my name's Henrik and I'm here to help you learn the foundations of software development. So let's get started. So here's a diagram from Git's website just to give you a quick overview if you've never heard of branches. Basically, you have a code base and then you're doing development on this code base. This red line is what you would think of as the master branch or the main branch. And so whenever we make changes to our code, we would make a branch. And so this is just a copy of this code. And we have this branch of code here. And then we do our development here. You can see these 3 green lines here. That means we added 3 lines here. We added 2 lines here. We subtracted 2 lines from this file. And then after we do our development, then we merge these changes into this branch. And then here you can see that this new code base here is a version where these 2 changes are brought together. So this is the original code base, and then when this branch is being developed, someone had removed 3 lines from this file here, and then in this branch someone had added 3 lines here and added 2 lines and subtracted 2 lines here. But when you bring them together, then you have this merge, and this is what is called a merge. And then you merge them together, then you have the 3 changes here are added there, and then you have 2 changes here that are added there, and then the subtractions are in this 3rd file, and then this change also is brought in too. So you can see that this version of the code is a combination of this code, or these changes here and these changes here. And then say someone wanted to, like say in your team, you want to base your changes off of this version of the code, you can actually make a branch off of a branch. So you make a branch here, and then maybe you add 2 new files here. That's this green line here. You add 2 new files here. You add 3 more lines here, 2 lines here, subtract 2 lines here. But you see this 3 additions here and this 2 additions and 2 subtractions here actually came from this one here. So this branch, what it's really doing is just adding 2 new files, and then we merge this branch into this one, into the main branch, and then you see this final branch over here has everything, or rather not branch, but this final version of the code base has everything here. And we like to use branches like these in our teams for 2 main reasons. So the first reason is if we're doing a feature. So we have a code base here, and then say my manager told me like, hey Henrik, I want you to implement this new feature for our code. So I'll make a branch and then I'll do the development for that feature here. But say that there's a bug in this code here. This is the second reason why we would make a branch. So if there's a bug in our code, we can make a branch and then we do our development to develop or to fix that bug. And then after we fix that bug, then we bring all of the code back to the main branch. Well, of course, you don't have to branch off of another branch. You can actually, like this branch here could have easily just branched off of this one here, or it could even be branched off of this one over here. And then the nice thing about Git, the beauty of Git, is that when we all merge them together, it'll eventually be this final version here, and everyone's contribution to the code, whether it's maybe someone is working on a bug fix or another person is working on a feature, all of us will do our code development in our own branches, and then the manager or the team head will merge all of our branches to the main branch. And so as we do this development, we'll constantly be getting the benefits of each other's branches because we have one main branch that has all of our changes. And so this is how teams do development with branches. They create their own branches, do development, and then we have a pull request, or we have a code review of this merge here. And then after they do a review, then it's only after that review is done by other developers, then the other developers will approve that change, and then the manager or the team head will be able to merge this code base or this branch into the main branch. So that's how teams do their development. I mentioned in the beginning of the video, if you're committing to your main or master branch, or you're doing your development in the main branch, then they're doing it wrong. And I say you're doing it wrong because, of course, you can do this if you're working by yourself because you're the only one working in your code base. You can commit and you can do your development in the main branch. But if you're working on a team, it can get kind of chaotic because say this is the first version of the code base and then 3 different people decide to add a commit at the same time, then Git will not know, well, Git will know who to prioritize based on who commits first. So if team member A makes a change and then they commit and push the change to the main branch, now team member B and C, their branches behind, and so when they try to commit, then Git will complain because they're trying to commit on this on top of this commit, but someone had already updated the main branch, so the latest commit is no longer this code base here anymore, and so Git will not allow that to happen. And say the developers are smart enough that only one person will commit at a time. Say team member A, B, and C, they're all working on this one. A commits first and then tells team members B and C that they're committed. So team member A will have to tell team member B and C, hey, I made a commit. Make sure you get that commit first before you do your commit. So then that way they'll have the up-to-date main branch and then they can make their commits on top of that new commit. But you see how much communication, how inefficient that is, because team member A has to tell team member B and C what's going on. But if we were all doing our development in our own branches, then we don't have to care about that. We can just do our development happily in our branches. The leader of the team can just merge those branches into the main branch and make sure everything is being developed carefully, incrementally, and this is how you don't break your code base. All right, now let's see the beauty of this in an example. Okay, I have this order menu program where you're given a menu and then you can order based on the numbers here. So what we'll do is we'll run this just so you can see how it works. There, you enter your name. Okay, what should we order? I want to order a pizza, so we'll do 1. And then you can see here, you ordered a pizza, your bill so far is $9.99. Now see how annoying it is for the user. I have to scroll up to see what I ordered to see this message here. So say we have 2 things we want to do here. First one is what I just said is we want to make sure that these messages here are clearly seen by the user when they order so they don't have to keep scrolling up. So that would be like a bug fix maybe. And then the feature would be to ask the user to also enter the quantity. So they can enter the number of their food choice, but we also want to give the user the ability to enter how much they want of that order. So that would be a feature. And then say we have 2 developers who want to work on this together. I mean, not together, but they also want to work on this. So we allocate each of these tasks to each of these different developers. So we'll call the first developer Alice, and then the second developer Bob. So Alice is going to be the one to fix this message here, this printf. So what we first need to do is we need to make a branch for Alice. So now let's do a new branch. You can actually see that this is branch main. So this is the main branch, but we don't want to develop on the main branch, right? So we're going to create a new branch for Alice, and then we'll call it bug fix. Okay, so now I'm Alice, pretend I'm Alice, and now I'm gonna do something here so that we can actually see this you ordered a pizza and you ordered a cheeseburger message. Okay, so the way Alice is going to fix it is by having a printf here to say, please press enter to continue. That way the user has a chance to see what they ordered, and then we'll just wait for the user to put some random input, or basically press enter, in order to get the menu to show up again. So let's run this one. Oh, I'm Alice now, so I'm going to press enter Alice. Okay, I'm going to order a cheeseburger this time. Okay, you ordered a cheeseburger. Your bill is now $4.99. So now the user can actually acknowledge this one. And then now we can press enter to continue. And then now we have the menu showing up. Okay, so I'm Alice. I made this change. So let's add this order menu change. And then I'm doing a commit message here. I'm going to say Alice. And then we're going to say, so Alice add acknowledgement of order. Then we're going to do a git push origin, Alice, bug fix. Okay, we created this new branch. Okay, now we're Bob. Now let's go to Bob. So we're going to go back to master or main. So I'm going to make a new branch for me because I'm Bob. I'm going to do Bob underscore feature. Okay, now the feature I'm going to add for Bob is I'm going to ask the user to say how much they want, like the quantity of the order. Okay, so here we're going to ask the user to enter how much they would like, the quantity, and quantity is an integer because that's a countable number. Then we're going to multiply that number to our how much it was costing, how much the pizza costs, etc. And then let's run this one. And then my name is Bob. And I can choose, I want to eat a hot dog. And how many would I like? I want to get 2. Okay, let's scroll up. So you ordered a hot dog. Your bill so far is $5.98, which is correct because one hot dog is $2.99. You multiply that by 2, then you're going to get $5.98. Of course, it says you ordered a hot dog. Maybe we fix this in a new branch. Maybe give this to another developer to fix this one. So now let's commit these changes. Git status, git add order menu, git commit, and then Bob and add quantity feature. Git push origin Bob feature. Alright, now let's go to GitHub and see these 2 new branches. There's the Alice bug fix and then the Bob feature. Okay, we can check here. We see that there's no branches here, but if we refresh, now we can see there's Alice bug fix. Okay, so this is Alice's change. You can see her change here was to make the user press enter to continue. We can also look at Bob's change. We can see Bob's feature. And Bob had added this one here, the quantity part, and then multiplied it here. So this is why having branches is nice, because you can see what people are doing in their development in their branches, and then you can review it. But say when they're done doing all this development, now they can do something called pull requests. So Alice can make a pull request, Bob can make a pull request. Let's let Alice make one first. She makes a pull request, and she created this one. So she has a pull request, and if if the other developers are looking at this pull request, basically a pull request is just a request to merge your changes of this branch, Alice bug fix, into the main branch. So you can look at the commit. You can see the changes that were made. You can also go here, look at the changes that were made. You can ask Alice to change the name of this variable here. Maybe you don't like it. So this is how we review our code. And then this is where we would review Alice's code. And then let's go back here. Let's make a pull request for Bob. And keep in mind, it doesn't matter who creates the pull request first, because these pull requests are just requests to merge to master, to merge this branch to master. So here we say, when we're creating the pull request, we say, this is the base. We want to merge Bob feature into main. So we create the pull request here. Okay, so now we have 2 pull requests. That means there are 2 developers who want to bring in their changes into the main branch and say, I'm the manager or I'm the team lead, and so I can look at their changes. I can look at Alice's change. If I like it, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge it, and then I can merge this pull request. So I'm going to confirm this merge. Pull request successfully merged and closed. And then we can delete Alice's branch, but I don't want to delete her branch yet, just in case we want to reference it. But you can see, you go back to the code, and you can see, go to the main branch. You can see Alice's changes here. If you look at the commit history, you can see Alice's commit is there now. But now we can also look at Bob's pull request, and now Git is checking this one. He's saying that the branch has conflicts that must be resolved. Okay, there's a conflict here because Bob created this variable and Alice created this variable. So we can resolve this change. We can just remove this part. We can let Bob create that quantity variable. We can let Alice create that char dummy variable here. Okay, I resolved the merge conflicts here, and if you're still confused about that, I do have other videos about how to resolve merge conflicts, so you can watch those videos, but don't worry about that too much right now. The main idea I want you to get from this is how we are able to merge our bug fixes and our features into the main branch, and so we incrementally build our main branch. Okay, say I'm the manager and the rest of the team are in agreement that Bob's changes are good, so we can merge this pull request here. So let's confirm the merge. Okay, successful. Okay, pull request successfully merged and closed. And then we can go back to the code and see there's no more pull requests. You can see it here. But we can go to the main branch and we can look at the commits. And then you can see here that there's Alice's commit, there's Bob's commit, and then we have these merge commits. So this is when we merged Alice's commit. This is when we resolved the merge conflict, and then this is when we merged Bob's branch into the main branch. And then if you look at the final code, we can look at the order menu.c, and then there you go. We have Bob's code here, we have Alice's code here, and then we have Bob's code here, Bob's code here, 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 and then Alice's code over here. And then we can actually test all these changes together in our actual code. So all we have to do is check out the main branch. Okay, here we do git checkout main, and then we have to do a git pull because the main has updated. And then now we have some new changes here. We have it looks like 14 insertions, 3 deletions. So we have 14 new lines and 3 lines that were deleted. And then there you go. So we have Alice's code here, we have Bob's code here in quantity. All right, so here's a quick recap of what we went over in this video. So if you want to use Git branches to develop your code base, first you're going to want to use branches. Instead of doing all your development in the main or master branch, you want to do your development in these branches. And the reasons why, the 2 main reasons why we want to use branches is for features. So if someone's going to create a new feature, we create a branch for that. If someone's going to do a bug fix, we create a branch for that. This allows them to commit and push safely to their own branches without worrying about what's going on in the main branch. The main branch could be updating here and there, but they don't really care about all of that. And then when they're done doing their bug fix or their features, then the team is going to review them through a pull request. So we're going to do a pull request, or you can use some other code reviewer tool and let the team review those branches. So we're just going to compare the branches with the main branch, and we can see what changes they made, and then we can review it. And then when the team is happy with it, the team lead will merge those branches into the main or master branch. And then this is how professional teams, they develop their features, fix their bugs, and do development in their code base and in their programs and in their projects. Before you go, if Git still feels a bit overwhelming, I created a totally free resource called My Git Started Guide. It's a step-by-step PDF with videos that I've made that will really help you get Git into your workflow. You can download it below and keep building your confidence with Git. Alright, that's it for this week's video. I hope it helped you out, and if it did help you out, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want more tutorials on how to use Git to collaborate with others, you can watch this video over here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.